Good morning YouTube. How are we doing today? How are we doing today, guys? So it's a bit of an interesting daily time frame that we're starting to see at this stage. Potentially creating a little pullback within the daily candle. Yeah, I'm going to be pretty intrigued to see how we react. One sec. Yeah, so pretty much, guys, from a daily perspective, I'm very much looking at this position here. As well as, you know, kind of this area here is our main. If we start to come, what we're doing now, starting to reject, then ultimately, yeah, we could end up with not necessarily a bearish daily, but we could end up with a bit of a rejection at this point from the upside, but then the daily candle still closing bullish. But this is our main range between this area basically and this area here. So where the 2x's are is our main daily range at this stage. So yeah, we'll have to wait and see what happens. But it's Monday morning. But from a 4-hour perspective, very much looking for buys at this point. We could still come all the way back down to here and respect this position and still head up. So I'm very much going to be paying attention to pretty much anything coming back this way. We can look to target this and then look to continue filling up to sort of 83.5, this main area here, and then ultimately back up to the 84s would be the idea. That would be my idea from a higher time frame. But yeah, right now we're sort of coming down at this stage. How is everybody doing on the YouTube? How are we today? Long time. Thought I'd come on this week, see how everyone's doing. See if we can do some good education this week. Yeah, GG's coming down a little bit hard right now. But yeah, for me there's not really any sells at this stage. Not particularly. I mean, for sells, I'd probably want to see today's daily candle fail to the upside. Would be a better option for me. You You may get a daily candle that finishes like this, potentially, but is that really what we're going to be looking at? I'm not sure at this stage, because pretty much this whole area has been held up by this structure, so I'm not going to be selling into that or anything like that. It's going to be very, very dangerous. So we've got to bear that in mind. What are you guys looking at on YouTube? What are you guys taking any trades this morning? Are you looking at anything? Gold has given them nice rejections to the upside again after that NFP push on Friday. So yeah, I'd be very much still looking for downside at this point on gold. Main bias for me still sells based off structure on daily, 4 hours, etc. These low points are more just reactionable pullbacks, and then we're rejecting higher time frame levels and zones. So pretty much, I mean, for me, as long as we're staying below this sort of 1930, then downside for the month still and the week still makes sense. So yeah, very much still looking for downside at this point to probably fill that lower wick. But I'm probably going to wait to see maybe New York, something like that. So what I'd be basically looking for on gold is potentially to create some form of a new low wherever it stops, pull back to respect the previous structure, and then we could look to hit that target later on and continue that move down if gold wants to do that. Basically it may just keep pushing down, but unless we were taking trades in Asian, which I'm not there in Asian, then we could have got better sells from the top of our zone. But right now, yeah, not really going to be taking that just yet, because we can still create some form of a bullish upside push before heading down, which is kind of what I'm expecting. Right, let's get back on GJ anyway, see what's going on here. But yeah, what you guys been up to? Yeah, so see, this is a little bit of a messy zone, but this is an important area. But yeah, what you guys been up to? What you been doing? What trades have you been taking? It's coming down hard right now. Yeah, definitely why it's worth waiting at the start of the session. No one talking today, eh? Nobody talking today. Just to check the news. What we got coming up for today? Nothing much really. We've got Governor Bailey speaking later on. That's interesting. Yeah, tomorrow we've got unemployment, so yeah, we'll see. But yeah, GJ's coming down pretty heavy. It's funny actually, I'm just on there, yeah, it's mad how many people are actually streaming, to be honest. It's actually mad, you know. I forgot how saturated this is, man. Oh well. I started doing this before a lot of these other people. But you lot are quiet today, seriously. Gold is just dropping at the moment. And GG right now got big ass 4-hour candle coming down, right? But we're only looking for buys at this stage. What I'm probably expecting to see is something like this, maybe perhaps, where we get the London 4-hour candle respects this area here, this previous area of contention. So this was a massive level going forward from last week. Oh, sugar.
Listen to music ad-free and offline with Spotify Premium. Upgrade to Premium and listen your way.
Don't want that. Yeah, don't want the adverts. Yeah, this main area here, this previous zone, is where I'd like to see London respect. Otherwise, we potentially could continue back down to this area. But either way, I'm still looking for upside moves at this point. I'm not entertaining any sell positions. As explained, I don't take sells at this stage. Yeah, I mean, for me, from a 4-hour perspective, this is our basically, if you look from our daily zone, this becomes where our 4-hour zone is at this stage. So between this position and here basically is your main daily range, and that also becomes your main support resistance zone within the 4-hour. This is just a mid-range level that clearly created our sort of upside structural pushes. We're now starting to come back to this way to do this. Yeah, potentially you have a shot down to here if you want to take sells, but what's to say that we don't stop at this position, or we start now coming back this way after creating a rejection? So we don't really know at this point. That's why I don't go against a higher time frame trend, especially if we look on the dailies right now. Anything giving me upside from this anything above this position here is going to give me a good opportunity to continue up. If we then, like I said, start to see daily candles closing below this area, which is what I was talking about in the weekly outlook last night with the members, if we start to see daily candles closing below this position, then we can look to see if we're going to basically fail in this area to then continue down, then maybe. But until then, as far as I'm concerned, we're not going down yet. Now some are going to say, oh, but daily candle closed below that support there. Yeah, it may have done, but end of the day, this is a zonal position between this level here and this area here. That is a zone. You've seen one candle closing into that zone. That does not mean sells. However, if we start to see this, and then the daily candle then presents itself closing below that whole zone after seeing this, then yes, I think pullbacks into here to fail again, we could look to sell tomorrow potentially. But as far as we're concerned, there's no reason why we cannot get a bullish daily that still ends up something like this, right? Even if it closes like that, right? Doesn't mean it's downside. You could easily then have the next day filled that wick and you continue this way. So this is where you have to be very careful. Selling on a Monday morning without really any proper confirmation or structure, or is not really the ideal situation. Especially if we're going to fail in this area here, then naturally we're going to pull back to our next level of support, which is coming from this main area here, right, as we've just said. So anything rejecting candles back this way means that the daily candle is rejecting that flip. At that stage, I could take trades coming back this way, looking to hit previous levels over here, and then maybe continuing that move that way as well. But if you want to take sells, take sells. You want to take sells, take sells. But yeah, you taking any trades? Anything? I know you lot been really quiet this morning. Gonna be live the whole week, so should be good. Even if no one really turns up or says anything, I'll still be here. There might be just one person that we can help for free this week. But yes, of course, from an upside perspective, seeing a daily candle closing with this sort of rejection would not be ideal for upside. But the weekly candle just started. We could easily be pulling back to create a lower wick on the weekly candle, again coming back to previous areas of rejection that created these upside pushes. So I mean, even if we need to pull back deeper, right, let's say we break 82, still very much upside is only on the cards. This would only be a pullback on a weekly higher time frame, coming back to the 181 level, and anything going back this way, then ultimately you could look to hold all the way back up to 183s, 184s. So that is what I'm looking at from a higher time frame. I'm pretty sure your YouTube other gurus would not be looking for those sort of trades where you can really look to maximize bigger, better positions. Very interesting. But for me, a good sell where I would take a small option trade would be, again, if the daily closes below this position at 80, sort of below this area here, and then we look to see continued downside. Otherwise, we could still even create bullish structure back to the upside, because like I said, this is your key daily zone right now. So we're just pulling back to that zone on a lower time frame. We're doing this, we're pulling back on a lower time frame, and it could very much still continue back this way, and then your daily candle very bullish. But we need to see candles rejecting going this way after seeing potentially something better closing down here, getting that pullback that again fails to then continue down this way would be much better and safer options of trading. Anyway, I'm going to leave it on the 30-minute for a bit. But yeah, YouTube, why are you not so quiet, man?
Playlist.
Bloody adverts. Adverts, adverts, adverts. Almost. So no one's taking any trades or anything like that. Right, I'm gonna be back here in a minute. I'm just gonna go get a drink. I'll be back in a sec.
are you doing?
Just mowing the lawn. I've already got rid of those hideous weeds.
Oh, they're not weeds. They're flowers.
I can't hear you, bro, but watch out. I'm just getting the rest of them.
Metalphiliums. My rhododendrons.
See you later, weeds.
My award-winning hydrangeas. Oh.
Don't wombat it, meerkat it.
Simples.
Yarn back. Okay, we're starting to do that pullback on gold. What I'd like to see from a gold point of view today would be if London created support, create that push up, New York fail again within this zone, or coming up to this, it's starting to break down and then taking trades below this area here. You can see a nice push back down in that respect, so that's what I'll be looking for. And then with GJ right now, yeah, for me there's no buys, there's no sells. But if you wanted to sell, I mean, your probably safest option for selling was below this position here, but you had no resistance formed at that point. But yeah, that would have been the best area to sell. Over here, however, is going to be much tougher because there's just one bearish candle. Structure is starting to clearly form bullish. At this point, structure has been broken at least, so you can at least know that you should have a good shot to push down to this level, and then maybe this level. But again, you know, we don't like to do sort of, obviously everything's a maybe in some respect, but other things are a bit more risky than others. So you had no 5-minute resistance formed, you had nothing. You know, only really now you're starting to form resistance below this position, which at that point now is kind of too late to be selling at this area, because you're kind of at the target, you're at the first target, and then you're at your sort of support level here. So taking sells at this stage would be really tough. But if they play out, they play out. I'll still be looking for something at this position down here for further upside potentially. And let's say you even were planning for sales, right, based off a daily, your max target, absolute max for me, can be this daily low, sort of anywhere within this position here from Friday. To my mind, that can only be your target based off downside, because we're still very much doing that overall in the market, and that's just one bearish candle that you think, oh yeah, we've closed below that, and now you think we're going to end up all the way down it, when in reality that, you know, there's nothing to say that right now. It's one candle, and you know, from historical data that I've collected, when you start to see dailies breaking like the daily support level like we've seen here, anything coming back this way on a daily usually gives you a further upside push. So until I see something respecting this, and then ultimately breaking down below this, then below the sort of 82 level, yes, tomorrow perhaps we could have a nice trade coming into the 81s. But until then, I'll very much not be looking to get caught out in any downside. But obviously that is just my approach to how I like to trade. Everybody's approach is different. Someone may have really liked to take sells at this position based off Friday's close. Someone might like to wait for this, and that's all personal. But I've slowly eliminated them sort of positions from my trading. Much harder. You know, if you see this type of thing, but we had started to change structure on the daily, then okay, maybe yes, that would have been a good option to look for sales. But this is the beginning of a potential downside move. But we can see, even if we just zoom out from a daily, how can you say that is downside yet at this point? You know, we're doing, at this stage here, we are basically doing what we did something around here. which if you look, we always come back to our area of potential rejection and potential respect. So even if we had a daily that closed below this position, that didn't mean that we would be going down yet because of this, which was holding it up, right? And again, this resistance, which is created this structural kind of area. So for me, still not sells, you know, there's still not sells at this point for me. You know, if I start to see, like I said, something like this, where daily closes with a rejection, maybe a very weak body, and then the next day can create that rejection and then start pushing to perhaps, or safest opportunity would be to see if we're going to get a rejection to the upside, close below this area to the left here, then look for rejections coming from there to fill this range coming down. That would be my play at this point, because until I see how we're going to react to this position here, basically very much still we could just come into here to reject, and you still have your daily candle looking like this bullish, you know, because Asians basically just created a wick. And you know, that doesn't necessarily mean, I know we all like to say, oh, this is the daily candle forming, but daily's a long time to form. You know, we don't know. You've only got to have New York create you another bullish candle, and then we're not going down at this stage. Do you know what I'm saying? But yes, we are starting to fail to the upside for sells maybe later on in the week. Yes, we are now starting to see resistance that had formed, failure at 184, pullbacks, support being formed that's tried to push up, failing. Yes, now after seeing that, taking trades, you know, potentially tomorrow after seeing again further structure being formed, closes below that daily resistance level, coming back to fail again, we can then look to hit whatever low was formed yesterday. But it does not mean that it is sells at this stage, you know, because we're very much just potentially just creating a bit of pullback structure, to which gets broken eventually in an uptrending market that continues back this way and then targets the highs overall. So you have to be very careful. That doesn't mean you can't take sells within these areas, but you have to know the best way. Now this position here, based on that closure, did that really make sense to take sells at this point? Not really, for me anyway. Not really at this point. You know, if this happened down here after seeing daily, etc., yes, I'd be looking for anything that was sort of closing below that position there. Then yes, we could look to hit this target, but only if it happened down here, because right now it doesn't make sense for me to do that. Okay, very, very important. But you know, there'll be some that'll be like, oh, missed the move, but in reality I don't think you missed any move as such. This is just a movement of price. As well as looking at the week, we've got Bank of England coming up later on in the week. We've got USD CPI, which is going to be very much in the play. We've got Bank of Canada interest rates. We've got GBP for pounds, so there's a lot. Very much going to be some things to pay attention to. But yeah, you guys have been extremely quiet today. No one said a word. So it's just sort of been me here talking to myself, basically. I know there's been a few of you on. but obviously we're going to be here all week, so hopefully from tomorrow, or you know, we can get a bit more engagement, would be nice. First person. Hello, Shoaib. Shoaib. Is that how I say your name? Sorry if I don't pronounce it right. But good morning. How are you today? Are you streaming the whole week on YouTube? Yes, I'll be streaming the whole week. Potentially even longer than that, but just see how it goes. You know, if we get, the thing is, obviously I've done YouTube streams for a long time, but obviously on and off, based on people's effort. You know, I'm not here to just sit here and talk to myself the whole time. But you know, if we get good engagement with people and people get a lot, then definitely, yeah, I'll be looking to maybe even continue past this week. But yeah, definitely a week we'll be on. Hope you have a fine, nice day. Thank you very much. I hope you have a nice day too. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, see, this is where the inconsistencies of sales starts to arise. Start to see rejections not quite tapping into your levels of support. Corrected that gap now, so anything can happen at this stage. Now start to see more upside, could see more downside, but I'll certainly be looking for, if we start to see this 30-minute engulfing this previous, anything like that, then we could have a good shot back up to the upside. Coming into open. But yeah, will you be here all week, Shoaib? Be nice to have some regular people coming on. As well as I think we're gonna start the giveaway this week as well, which would be nice. what do I expect on gold? It very much depends at this point, but like I was sort of saying at the start of the stream, if you're a one from a higher time frame point of view, we're very much still seeing sort of downside structure at this point. So from a daily standpoint, I'm kind of only looking for sells at this point. We're very much similar doing to what we did over here, creating that daily range of consolidation. You can see that is forming at this point here. So ultimately, the way to be trading that for me would be looking for rejections coming from the upside to take sells this way. Potentially buys, but it's not really a bullish market as such right now. Yes, beforehand we were clearly very much doing this, but at this point now, what we don't know is where gold is going to stop and then start to create structure back this way, as well as having certain fundamentals to confirm that. Because right now we're clearly starting to see more strength in the US dollar by the structure and the pullbacks to key levels, but we are staying above the 1900s, which is obviously very, very key. So there's still very much sentiment overall, I'd say, for safe haven gold buys, but we're not seeing continuation of that. So I think once we start to see dailies breaking back this way, right, on a higher time frame, and then some form of a pullback or fail back to the downside, and then again some form of structural continued buys, then I would expect to see, yeah, we could now push all the way back up to the highs. But at this point for me, very much still looking for rejections coming from the upside to take downwards and then look to trade in that sense. So for me right now, gold, like I said, what I'd be looking for from an MY/London, we can sort of pull up to this area, fail again at this stage, and then start to break wherever London support is. I'll put LS, London support. I will then look to continue that move back down, and then you can sort of target the low 1900s. That would be a good option on gold. And then for buys, I need to see 4-hour candle closing up and outside this whole area of rejection, which we can see massively has caused all this downside for the last couple of weeks. And then I would need to see support forming, and this kind of area being respected, support forming, candles going that way, and we could look to push back to our main highs of sort of the 1960s, which is what I mentioned in the weekly outlook yesterday for the group members, which is pretty cool. But also mentioned from a higher time frame, we could see rejection coming from the 1960s, so we could come all the way back to the 1960s and still end up bearish. What's up, Clayofa? What's going on, mate? But very much no ups. You know, you can see this candle does not mean buys, nor does it mean that there's sells. However, you could easily still see a weekly that ends up like this after seeing a candle like that. You know, for us to see potential upside buys, I would needed to have seen something closing us back this way, and then your new weekly creating that, you know, higher low on the wick. But right now, yeah, we're starting to see that, but not quite strength in upside. So this could easily just be a fill back to the downside and continued sells basically. But yeah, that's what I'm looking at from an MY point of view, looking for something like this where we start to fail in these areas, big ass candles coming downwards, breaking that support. I'd look to take trades moving to the downside. So that would be my plan there on gold, but right now we're just sort of waiting on GJ. So I hope that helps. Because in my opinion also, if this area is respected, then I mean we're still very much in upside move. No problem, mate, no problem. See what happens. Right, I'll be back in a minute. I'm just gonna go get ready, and yeah, we'll see what happens coming into open, or if we're gonna start to create any rejection from this area. But we'll have a little look. But yeah, I'll be back in a sec.
Listen to all your favorite tracks without hearing audio ads when you make the move to Spotify Premium. Upgrade to Premium and listen your way. Tap the banner to learn more.
Okay everyone, so I'm going to be finishing the stream there. Thanks very much for coming on. So I'll be looking for potentially some upside potentially coming up soon if Open is going to give us that, but we'll see. But yeah, we'll see. Yeah, very much still looking for upside at this point, not really interested in this downside move. But yeah, very much if we can see the 8-830 candle giving us some form of a support, giving us that confirmation, we could potentially look to take trades back this way. So yeah, that would be my option. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see. Need to see candles closing at this point, this position. Again, coming from this area of the daily, still very much interested that we can still close bullish, but we shall see. Shall see. But yeah, anyway guys, have a good rest of your day, take care. I've already obviously explained what I'll be looking for from a gold standpoint. See if we can, you know, potentially create some support to break later on in NY. But yeah, I'll be back on tomorrow, 6 to 6:30 start, and then yes, so yeah, obviously hopefully tomorrow we can have a bit more engagement, that'd be good. But yeah, so anyway guys, take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and see everybody tomorrow. So thanks very much, like the stream, hopefully see you guys tomorrow. Yeah, we'll be here all week, so should be good. Take care, bye bye.